we were, what's the word?
Gifted.
Yes, we were gifted a teaser trailer this week of none other than written and directed by James Gunn of Superman. This movie is going to come out in July of 2025, right?
Yeah, 7 months away.
Yes. Well, those 7 months, listen, those 7 months, we got a lot of things coming out in these 7 months. And let me tell you, I'm kind of excited. So let's talk about this trailer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we saw the new guy.
We saw the new
Right?
guy,
We saw the new guy whose name is,
David Corn Sweat.
okay, David Corn Sweat.
Yes.
It's not our guy, Henry Cavill. And you know what? I'm kind of disappointed. But at the same time, though, it's one of those things where you're just like, well, we saw what happened with that. I don't know. What are we going to do? Maybe do something different. Show everybody, what the new guy can do.
A younger Superman.
Right.
For a teaser trailer, you could feel like you can use the word teaser loosely because we got a lot in that.
Well, we got a lot in it, but at the same time, we also didn't get much to begin with. All we got was what? 5 words? Home, take me home, and Superman.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, those are the only words we got in that. So I feel like we have no idea what the story is about, which is good because, again, it's a teaser, right? You're not supposed to know what's going on in this whole thing, right?
And this is the first true test of James Gunn's vision of the DC movie universe.
Mm-hmm.
He's dipped his toe. He directed the last Suicide Squad movie. He did the Peacemaker series. It was recently launched on Max, the Creature Commandos.
Right.
Show I still have to check out, but this is the first test on the big screen when maybe the most legendary superhero of all time, like similar to Zack Snyder's universe when he launched it with his version of Superman. James Gunn is trying to make everything brighter because we had a decade of the Zack Snyder grittiness, dark Superman. So if you notice, everything feels bright again.
It feels bright. But here's my problem. This whole thing looks great. I just feel like he's wearing pajamas.
He's trying to go. Maybe it's just the first Superman suit. That is
maybe. But okay, let's start from the beginning, right?
All right.
So let's start like in the beginning of this trailer. We see what? We see Superman, and he's like crashes, and he's all bloody. And then we start to see him, breathing heavy, like as if he's got like a punctured lung or something, because you hear all the wheezing and everything, right? So what how do you feel about that? That in Zack Snyder's universe, Superman was treated as a god, right? He was like, I can do anything and everything. And in the first teaser trailer of this, all we see is that right there. We see him all bloodied and, gods don't fall, right?
I still think it's going to be a young, inexperienced Superman that he just came onto the scene. He probably fought a villain enhanced with kryptonite.
Possibly.
We don't know who or what yet. So it's an image to draw you in that even Superman,
right.
Is human to an extent.
Right, so they're humanizing him.
He's humanizing him. He's gonna get to that godlike level over the course of this movie or movies that we're gonna see him in. It puts him in a vulnerable position, but I think it's leading to on his way to get to that level above everybody else.
And then what do we see? We see him whistling for crypto, right? Not the currency. Not the currency. We're talking about Crypto the dog, the super dog. So now Crypto comes and he's just like, hey, take me home. And Crypto just grabs him by the cape and says, hey, let's just go.
My guess is, nerding out here, probably taking him to the Fortress of Solitude to recover.
Well, see,
I think we're going to see that.
I don't think so. I mean, if they're humanizing him, right?
Right.
I feel like if they're humanizing
To an extent, they humanize.
to an extent they're humanizing him. What if he's not going home as in the Fortress of Solitude? Maybe he's going home to Smallville. Because we could see Ma and Pa Kent taking care of this guy as opposed to, this is his first movie. We don't even know if he has a Fortress of Solitude. I mean, it's alluded in the trailer that he does.
He's in.
But at the same time, though, we're just thinking like,
he's in an Arctic setting. But I guess James Gunn wanted to kick off with something that really draws you in. Wait, Superman's bloodied and laid out. He's hurt.
Right.
Brutal. I mean, we've seen Superman in other platforms and other movies and TV show. It's not the first time, but this is the launch of a new Superman, a new era, whatever you want to call it. So it's like, wait, even Superman is not always
going to win.
Not always going to win.
Right.
Yeah.
But look at this, right? You see him playing the goofy, the Clark Kent that Christopher Reeves made famous, right? He made him famous. Why? Because he was playing a Superman where nothing can stop him, and he was playing a goofy little Clark Kent that nobody would guess and say, oh, that guy right there is going to be Superman. Him and his broccoli haircut.
So from the looks of it, he's off to a good start to this, as Clark Kent and as Superman, having two looks that fit those characters, even though they're one entity.
Right.
Overall, this looks really good so far. Because there's like an excitement to a Superman movie. We don't yes, we saw him in Batman vs Superman, Justice League, Snyder Cut, but this is our first Superman solo movie in over a decade. We never got that Man of Steel sequel.
Wait, hold on. You're saying it's a Superman solo film, but in this video we see Miracle Man. Right?
Yeah.
No, not Miracle. What am I saying? Miracle Man. Mr. Terrific. We see Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. We see all these other people.
Hulk Girl.
Right. And how is that any different than what he did in Man of Steel? Or it just
I know
Justice League?
I know what you're saying. Maybe they're the active heroes and Superman's just arriving on the scene. That's a little bit of a head scratcher. Maybe that's a way to help kickstart the DC universe on this level by showing there's already existing heroes and we don't have to introduce every hero with their own story. They were already operating they were already operating in Metropolis.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Here's the thing though. Who's going to be the standout act in this movie?
Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor.
Hells yeah. Because Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, man, I'm telling you, this is going to be great. Because Nicholas Hoult is a great actor. We've seen him in a dozen movies, and he's always played something different, right? He's always played a different zany character, and in this is going to be a testament of whether he can have the chops to be something maniacal, something, what's the word? Like sort of like a Patrick Bateman type character, you know what I'm saying?
Right. He said he took inspiration from the Smallville Lex Luthor, played by Michael Rosenbaum, who did a fantastic job for years on that show, and he was actually the voice of the Flash in the DC animated universe. Yeah. But I think he's going to be the true scene stealer. He'll be, looks like he's doing classic Lex Luthor. Hates Superman. He wants to be the public face. Right. You realize the name of the company is
Luthor Corp,
not LexCorp yet. Yeah. So maybe his dad's still running things at this
point.
Well,
you brought that up, but I was talking about this when we went to the movies and we saw Sonic. I was telling that to Johnny 64, and I was like, it's not Luthor Corp because depending on the time frame of where he is in his life, it was Luthor Corp because his father was the point who started the company, right? But now, when he becomes more self-centered, he eventually turns it into LexCorp.
So we probably have a younger Lex Luthor up and coming.
Right.
He's the real leader. He's plotting, but he's like, he probably hates Superman. He's gonna be awesome in this role.
I believe it. Now, I have a question for you. We see his hairstyles, right? We see his hairstyles as, he's got the broccoli hair right there. And then when he becomes Superman, he's
got the curl.
He's got the curl and the slick back. That actually makes sense. If you really think about it, right? a civilian, your hair's all messy, right? It's all messy. But then when you become this superheroic person, throw some water in your hair and slick it back, and hey, now I'm a totally different person. It's not just the eyeglasses anymore that make him look different, because when you start to look at both Clark and as Superman, they really do look like they're two different people. Like he's more like pouting with Clark Kent as opposed to he's always smiling with Superman, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting based on the interaction of the trailers between him and Lois. Like, is she gonna know the dual identity? Is she gonna fall in love with Clark, but her true love is Superman? Go back to that, that classic love triangle, quote unquote. Even though it's the same,
Right, exactly.
the same guy.
So as you guys can tell, we are excited about this, and I don't know about you guys, but July can't come any quicker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that and Fantastic Four in the same month. This is going to be a battle of whether the movie theaters are going to be super or they're going to be fantastic.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So with that said, let us know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Do you like it? Do you hate the teaser trailer? Let us know.